Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host, and it is Monday, March the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you out there. It was a devastating weekend across the South, especially here in Mississippi. Multiple tornadoes ripped through our state. And actually, one was on the ground for a total of 70 miles. That's according to Governor Tate Reeves, who just wrapped up a press conference that he was having there in Taylorsville. Um, we were airing that and had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're going to be bringing you an update on all that was said during that press conference. And it was Governor Tate Reeves that was up there. There was the director of MEMA also. So we're going to be bringing that to you in just a little bit. But it was a devastating weekend across our state, across the South. I mean, we're not the only ones who experienced the tornadoes, but the tornadoes. Uh, there was a lot of them here, a lot more than any of our other southern states or the Midwest. We're going to get into that storm coverage here for you in just a minute. Thankfully, if we look outside right now, we're going to actually look at our Market Max camera that is in Tylertown, and we're going to see that it is a much different scenario outside right now than it was on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Very beautiful skies out there, beautiful blue skies, a nice temperature. It's really nice day today outside, but thankfully, we are not looking to be getting any more rain this week. Well, I think we are maybe on Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to touch briefly on our forecast in just a few minutes. But thankfully, nothing severe. We're not expecting anything severe to happen. I do want to say if you're watching on our website, WLBT.com, or our news app, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, I appreciate you tuning in there. You can always leave a comment, question, thought, suggestion, anything like that in the comment section. Like I say every day, I enjoy getting to talk to you guys during this, what I call a interactive newscast. So the first thing that we're going to jump into as far as news goes for you guys is an update on storm victims that were in Jefferson Davis County. So the county coroner, Deidre Johnson, released the names of the two people who were killed during the storm on Saturday. 56-year-old Mary Suzette Tolbert and her 36-year-old stepson Ryan Tolbert were the victims of that storm. 6 people were killed in total, nearly 30 injured after those storms swept through the South on Saturday. And going back, talking about Taylorsville, the destruction that's down there is absolutely life-changing for so many people. Down trees, power lines, structural damage. It's all over the town there. Some residents are calling the tornadoes that happened there. Um, they're calling those worse than Katrina. You can see the damage that happened at Taylorsville High School, a softball and baseball fields. Many residents, though, are trying to look on the bright side, highlighting that no one was killed there in their hometown. Still, though, the storm did take its toll on the town, leaving behind that path of destruction.
I called my 91-year-old mother that lives kind of behind me and told her to get someone to get her over here. And we went in the shelter and we wasn't in there long. It hit. It's something I pray I never have to go through again. But as fast as it hit, it was over. Left behind its destruction.
So incredibly sad there. Well, officials are saying that there are still some hot wires down around the town. So they're urging residents to be particularly cautious when getting around Taylorsville. And then Covington County, we're looking over there. Leaders are continuing to assess the damage after the storms on Saturday. So here's a video of some of the damage that was there. One person was killed, several other people were injured during those storms. Covington County Emergency Management says about 50 homes were either damaged or destroyed. Sunday afternoon, county crews and others were busy with cleanup and were assisting storm victims in many different ways.
We're thankful to all the citizens and the different people from around bringing their equipment in to help out, and it's a big help.
Fire department worked really well together with EOC and county supervisors. Got to thank Southwest Water Association for bringing their heavy equipment in to help clear out some of the roads and stuff around here.
Now, personnel with Covington County Emergency Management have already started their damage assessments in the county today. And if we go to Issaquah County, you can take a look at some of these images from there, about 5 miles outside the town of Mayersville. So these were sent to us by Mayersville Mayor Linda Williams Short. A building that appeared to be a shelter for maybe farm equipment was destroyed, along with some of the machinery that was inside of it. Pieces of the metal building were stripped away. Some tractors and implements were toppled over, really like they were just toys. I mean, the storms were so strong that came through there, came through the entire state. And the executive director of MEMA, Stephen McCraney, who was just with Governor Reeves during the press conference they held, he laid out some plans to help accommodate anyone who has been displaced by the storms this weekend.
So to kind of round it out, about 900 tarps so far, about 10,000 to 15,000 bottles of water we have already distributed out. And those commodities are ready. We have a warehouse in Byron, Mississippi, the C-Lock, ever since COVID hit. And we've got the supplies. We've got the meals ready. We've got the water ready. Tarps, you name it, any commodity that's needed out in that impacted area, we're ready to move with it.
And as you may have seen during our live First Alert Weather Day coverage of those storms, there was actually even an earthquake that happened. It registered near the city of McGee in Simpson County, measured 3.0 on the Richter scale. No damage was reported with that, thankfully. And if you need to report any storm damage to MEMA, here's some steps that you will need to take. First, you're going to need to file an insurance claim. Then you'll take damage of or pictures of the damage to your property. And lastly, report the damage to MEMA using their self-report tool. You can visit their website. It's here on your screen. It's msema.org/report-damage. But if you go to their website, you can select the county you live in from the drop-down menu. It's going to open up a new window for you where you can submit your information. Now, keep in mind, this is not an application for financial assistance with the storm damage. It's just a tool to help MEMA assess the damage across the state. And there are several disaster recovery shelters that are open in Mississippi for those who were affected by the storms. Governor Tate Reeves says shelters are open for, of course, the residents that have been displaced. So in Tupelo, there's Cadence Bank Arena and Conference Center, Grenada, so the Grenada City Auditorium. In Smith County, is the county's multi-purpose building. And in Tylertown, a shelter has been set up at First Baptist Church. That location is also serving as the state command center. MEMA has already handed out more than 900 tarps and approximately 15,000 bottles of water. Also helping with the storm damage or the aftermath of the storm damage, should we say, is U-Haul. They're offering free self-storage and U-Box container usage to people who have been impacted by the storms. You're going to be able to take advantage of that offer for 30 days. Participating locations for U-Haul can be found in Biloxi, Gulfport, Hattiesburg, Jackson, Meridian, Pascagoula, Pearl, and Tupelo. And the Red Cross is also lending a helping hand to those who have been affected by the storm. There's disaster trained workers in Mississippi and Alabama, or from Mississippi and Alabama, working with local officials to coordinate assistance for those in need. So if you are in need of help, you can call 1-800 Red Cross. The organization also has these reminders to anyone who is in the storm zone and the aftermath, dealing with the aftermath of these storms. If you see power lines down outside your home, report those to the utility company. Don't step in puddles or other standing water. If your power is still out, use flashlights instead of candles or other open flames for lighting. And if you smell natural gas or even hear a hissing noise, get away from the source of the odor or sound and contact the fire department. Again, though, if you are needing help and you'd like to reach out to the Red Cross, that number is 1-800 Red Cross. Now, before we get into other news that did happen in our area outside of the storm damage, we're going to hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water, water for all the time.
And again, thank you to Jackson Water for being a sponsor of WLBT Plus. Before we get into the other news, let's take a quick look at our forecast, what we can expect over the next 24 hours. And actually, if we look at our current temperatures, we talked about how it was a very nice day outside. We're looking in the mid 60s, just about everywhere across our area. Natchez is in the 70s right now, or at 70 right now. But this is about what it's going to stay for the remainder of the day. Current radar, we are not going to see any rain here because thankfully we are not expecting any rain here in our area or in our viewing area. And if we look at the next 12 hours, you can see it's going to be about the same. No rain chances. We are going to stay sunny outside. Temperature that it is now, it's going to stay about that same temperature throughout the remainder of the day. And then as we go into the overnight hours is when it's going to drop down to the mid to low 50s. In our next 7 days, however, you can see we do have that slight chance of rain on a Wednesday, 30% then, temperatures reaching up to 78 degrees before we drop back down to the 60s on Thursday. And we do have a chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday for this weekend. To get the full details on that forecast, though, you want to make sure you're here at 2:30 for our First Alert weather team because they'll be able to give you those in-depth details on the forecast much better than I can. So now let's go to some of the other news that has happened in our area or that is happening in our area. Right now in Hinds County, the Hinds County Sheriff's Department is requesting your help in locating a man. So if you look at your screen now, you'll see 34-year-old Zachary Dale Willis. He is wanted for 2 counts of felony child neglect and possession of a controlled substance. He's about 141 pounds, has a very distinct mole under his left eye. And if you know where he may be, they're asking you to please contact Crime Stoppers and reminding that anyone that provides information that leads to an arrest could be eligible for up to a $2,500 reward. And sadly, a woman is dead following a wreck that happened in the capital city on Saturday. So Jackson Police tells 3 on Your Side the wreck happened near I-20 and Highway 18. It happened around 5 o'clock on Saturday. JPD says 27-year-old Jocelyn Robinson passed away at UMMC after her vehicle veered off the roadway and overturned multiple times. She and a second person in the vehicle were taken to the hospital for treatment. And we have not gotten information on the cause of the crash. That is still under investigation. Of course, our thoughts and our prayers go out to their families. And in Holmes County, there was also another crash that took the life of an individual. It was a one vehicle wreck on Saturday morning. It was about 6:45 Saturday morning. According to authorities, the victim, 62-year-old William Snell, crashed into a tree on I-55 near Durant. Mississippi Highway Patrol officials couldn't say whether or not the wreck was weather related, but it is still under investigation. And something that happened here in Jackson on Saturday that was supposed to be an outdoor event that was taken indoors because of the weather is the Jackson Food and Wine Festival. It was actually a sellout crowd. The tickets were sold out for that event a couple of weeks before the event happened. So it was a very large crowd. It was a big hit with foodies and people who wanted to get a taste of some of the best wines from around the country. It is also about celebrating some of the best chefs and best food Mississippi and the country have to offer. Let me hit the right button here. Here we go.
People are enjoying themselves and some of the best chefs in the country, showcasing not only our Jackson chefs, but Mississippi chefs, but really those chefs we get a chance to see on some of those famous TV shows, Top Chefs, Food Network. Again, the food is incredible.
And again, the Food and Wine Festival is held every year right here in Jackson. So if you missed out this year, make sure you're watching around this time next year so you can get you some tickets then as well. Well, that is going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you're here again at 2:30 for the First Alert Weather Team. They will be here to give you an in-depth look at our forecast for the next week. But we are looking at pretty much a really nice week ahead of us, thankfully, which will be good for those that are out cleaning up after this storm damage. Not going to be too warm, nice ample sunshine, so that hopefully the weather will help in assisting them in the cleanup after this storms. You all have a wonderful day. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I will see you then. Bye-bye.